Hey there, Eternians, and welcome back to Mike Meeple's Painting Poorly Miniature Painting Tutorials. Today we're starting my series for Masters of the Universe Clash for Eternia by CMON Games. And who better to start off with than the most powerful man in the universe, He-Man. While He-Man himself is a fairly straightforward mini, we'll be taking extra care on his skin, since that is the majority of what you'll be painting. I'll be starting off by priming He-Man utilizing a zenithal highlight, and if you're not familiar with that technique, make sure you watch my how-to video. Once that's all dry, it's time to start base coats. We'll be starting off with some appropriately named Barbarian Flesh by the Army Painter, and using that to paint his skin. I'm actually using multiple thin coats to make sure coverage on the skin is nice and even. Next, take some Hull Red by Vallejo and paint his boots and loincloth. You can also use this color to paint the straps of his armor and his left bracer. After that, take some copper by Vallejo and paint his belt and the bracers themselves. Then we're going to take some demonic yellow by the Army Painter and paint his hair. Once you're finished with that, take some plate mail metal by the Army Painter and paint the Sword of Power and his chest armor. When that's dry, grab some gemstone by the Army Painter and paint the red cross on the front of the armor, along with the 3 red squares going up each of his straps on his shoulders. Then take some dark sand by Vallejo and paint the tufts of fur at the top of his boots. And when that's dry, it's time for shades. We'll be starting off with Flesh Wash by the Army Painter, and we'll be applying a thin layer to all of the skin. Next, take some light tone by the Army Painter and apply some to the hair and the tufts of fur. Finish off the shades with some Nuln Oil by Citadel and apply that to the armor, the bracers, the boots, the loincloth, and the Sword of Power. Once that's all dry, it's time for highlights and finishing touches. We'll be starting off by using our Barbarian Flesh to highlight the skin. For the muscles, you want to paint where they're bulging outward, and avoid the grooves where the wash is darkened. You can also highlight the knuckles and fingers of each hand right now, too. When you move on to the face, you'll want to highlight the chin, the cheekbones, the nose, and the jaw. Next, mix together equal parts Barbarian Flesh and Basic Flesh Tone by Vallejo and add a second highlight. Now remember, the trick to multiple levels of highlights is to paint a slightly smaller area than what you previously painted. After that, we'll be using just basic skin tone to apply a third highlight, but use this sparingly. Now we'll use some demonic yellow to highlight the hair. Then mix together equal parts demonic yellow and dark sand to apply a second highlight. Next, mix together equal parts Hull Red and Orange Brown by Vallejo to highlight the boots, the loincloth, and the leather straps. On the boots and the loincloth, don't try to highlight whole areas, just pick and choose small details to make pop, like a tuft of fur here and there on the loincloth or the straps wrapped around the boots. After that, add a second level of highlight using pure orange brown. Then take Ivory by Vallejo and highlight the fur at the top of the boots. Next, use your finest brush and some white and very carefully add in the eyes. And then whatever color you like, you can use that to dot in the pupils. To add some texture to the base, we'll be using some Vallejo Dark Earth texture paste and applying a thin layer to the base with an old brush. Once that's dry, I'll be dry brushing on some Flat Earth by Vallejo. And then a touch of dark sand. And after that, we'll paint the rim of the base and hit it with our matte spray. To add in some scenic features, I'll be mixing together equal parts PVA glue and water and applying some grass tufts by the army painter. And if you want, you can also use some super glue and sprinkle on some coarse ballast for some rocky texture. And that's it! I want to give a big shout out to all of my patrons whose generous support helped me make quality content like this. And if you're interested in becoming a patron yourself, information on how to do so can be found in the description for this video, along with links to all the supplies I used today and a link to my blog, where you'll find more tutorials for games like Masters of the Universe Clash for Eternia. And if you like this video and would like to see more, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And always remember, you, my friends, have the power.